Hey guys, happy Sunday to you. Y'all, for today's dinner, I went and got 2 sushi rolls from Sushi. And I kid you not, y'all, this is all you get. I wouldn't recommend them. I mean, they're good, but you don't really get your money's worth, I feel. But I did not want to drive across town, and I really don't know anywhere else out here that sells sushi. And after meal prepping, y'all, I just was kind of bent. I had a slab of ribs out to cook, which I'll still season later on tonight, but I knew I wasn't going to cook it in time for dinner. So I just set my tail down somewhere. And anyway, let me say my grace. Dear Lord, thank you for another beautiful and blessed Sunday, Lord. Thank you for my health and strength. Lord, thank you for the food that I'm about to receive, Lord, and for nourishing my body. Lord, I thank you for everyone who is joining here to sharing this meal and conversation. Bless them, Lord, where you see the need. In your Son, Jesus' name we pray. We thank you. Amen. So, yeah, how y'all Sunday going? And y'all know some of y'all had asked me about that tuna salad recipe. It's been months and months ago when I had it for lunch one time at work. And I just got around to making some again. So I got the shrimp tempura roll and the crunchy crab roll. And so yeah. And this is just some soy sauce and I also got some honey chicken. So like I said, I didn't feel like cooking, and my daughter says after church, she left church, they went to Outback down in Midtown for lunch. I would have met her otherwise, but it was too far to drive. I had started drinking on one of these grapefruit ice drink earlier, so I'm just gonna drink that for my drink. Oh, that's refreshing. Whew. So yeah, I'm gonna warn y'all now, this conversation getting ready to be all over the place. Someone asked me my opinion on how long should you date somebody before you get married. And when I tell y'all it's gonna be all over the place, it's gonna be all over the place. I don't really have an answer to this. You know, I thought about this a lot, and I thought about some things in my own life. And I'm gonna tell y'all about, you know, how long I dated my husband before I got married, my ex-husband. Do I think that's the magic recipe for it? No. What I can say is, I thought about, this person didn't say how old they were. So, to me, it all depends on how old you are. You know, if you're dating somebody at 16, I'm not going to say, yeah, jump up in 2 years is it, the limit, and you get married at 18. No. I mean, you could get married at 18, but I'm not saying you should. So, I don't think that you could necessarily, you know, judge by how long you've been dating someone to make a decision. I don't know if I said, but with my ex-husband, I knew him for 10 months. We dated for 10 months. And I really can't remember how long it was before when we got engaged. It was fairly quickly when we got engaged. Because I knew on the front end that, you know, and we discussed it. You know, we weren't looking to play games. You know, I was 25, and I think he was going on 30. He's older than I am. He was older than I am. But I'm like, you know, we either gonna do it. And then I was, you know, had my daughter, and I'm like, um, he's been in her life ever since she came in the world. But I'm like, either we're gonna do something or not. I don't have time to be playing games as a single mother, you know. So either we're gonna piss or get off the pot, you know. But I'm not gonna have no in and everybody around my daughter. Period. And like I said, he was in her life as a newborn. So we pretty much decided that that's where the relationship was gonna go, and that's what we were gonna work toward. Did we have issues along the way? Yes, we did. But ultimately, that's what we decided to do. I also will tell you that I'm not big on shacking. I don't really go for it. Have I done it? Yes, I have. And I was actually living with someone. And did I date him after I moved out? Yes, I did. But one thing that I discussed with him that I was not going to do was continue to live there if he wasn't really looking towards a relationship. And he was 14 years older than me that was going into marriage. And his big thing was his ex-wife had cheated on him and blase. And he said he was going to be the next person to hurt. And he did. He was going to hurt somebody else. You know, it's like, just had the wrong thinking. And so he didn't take the relationship very seriously, I don't think. You know, and we were back and forth, off and on. But I never gave him an ultimatum. But he said I was trying to force his hand. I'm like, I ain't trying to force your hand. You either gonna piss or get off the pot. Why buy the milk cow when you can get the milk for free? But I'm not gonna continue to do this living together thing. So we had some very turbulent times because he felt like, and I'm not gonna sit up and lay up with you if you're not gonna do something. You know, you too old for this. And I think I was in my mid-30s at the time. And he was heading towards 50. I'm like, no, partner. But I get where he's at, you know, because I got that mindset now where I'm not really ready for marriage. I get where I understand more now than I did then, because I'm like, you know. So, because I'm not ready. And you have to know that you're really ready, because marriage is work. My coworkers get married, and one thing he said was they had dated for 3 years. I asked him how long they had dated. He got married yesterday. And he said they dated 3 years. And one thing I was real impressed about the young man, he said, was he was looking forward to after the wedding ceremony and what their life was going to be like together. And I told him that was the right attitude, because, you know, it's more than just a marriage. I said, but so tomorrow is your day. That was Friday when I was talking to him. And I said, you enjoy that. You know, that's your party. You enjoy it. You make time. You do relish in it. Because the real work is going to come in afterwards. And y'all going to experience some ups and downs. But take time out to really enjoy and relish in the day that you're playing for. So that worked for them. That 3-year period, I guess. And I can tell y'all, my dad was married 3 times. He was married to my mother who I don't know how long they knew each other before, but my biological mother is from Shreveport, Louisiana. And he was stationed there. And he was married to my mother. He got married to her, and then they got stationed to the Philippines. They had my brother in Shreveport. And they got stationed in the Philippines, which is where I was born. And they stayed married for a number of times. They then got stationed in Texas. And after that, they got divorced. So, of course, he met her after he was in the military. Now, my oldest sister, mother, was his second wife. He had her before he joined the military. Now, keep in mind, they grew up together. They went to church together. Had been knowing each other for years. Honey, I don't even think they were married a good year. Even after, that was his second wife, and I guess they just felt like they wanted to try it. Some kind of way, I think their parents were against it. Her father was the pastor of the church, and my grandmother was something else, honey. So, needless to say, that marriage didn't last a hot minute, as long as John stayed on. Now, my stepmother, he stayed married to for 20 some odd years before he passed. And ironically enough, I don't think they knew each other 6 weeks. And I want to kid y'all now, we were stationed in Little Rock, Arkansas at the time. My dad had moved back from Greece, and we were stationed in Little Rock. And I think she worked with my aunt, my dad's oldest sister, at the hospital. And all of a sudden, from the way my aunt tells it, she saw his picture and wanted to meet him. Well, now she was from Memphis. From my understanding, they arranged something because they did end up coming. It was her, my aunt, and another lady, which was her friend, that came to Little Rock one time. One time now. I imagine they must have did a lot of talking on the telephone in those 6 week period, because next thing I know, my dad said, we're going to Memphis and I'm getting married this weekend. And I'm like, what? That lady we just met? So he ended up marrying her. We came to Memphis. One weekend, they got married at my aunt's house. They, my other sister moved to Little Rock with us. And I'm telling you, it was a 6 week period, and we met her one time. She came to Little Rock one time. And so, and he stayed married to her 20 some odd years, like I said, before he passed. So, I honestly can truly tell you, I think that was her first husband. Well, you have to have a made up mind that you want to get married, first of all. And one thing I know for sure is both of you have to be on one accord. You can't have one wanting and one not wanting. And I will tell you this. You have to get that established at the beginning of the relationship, that you want something serious that's going somewhere. And you'll know that if you establish an age, you're at an age in your life where you can stay there. Now, I had a long conversation yesterday with my daughter, who's dating now. I think she's gotten to the point where, she's establishing her career and she's wanting something serious. And so it's a couple of guys that's been asking her out on dates. And she said one in particular, who she thinks okay. But they went out and they got it established on the front end. And he said he wasn't really looking for a relationship. He wants to kind of play around. And I'm not going there in that type of, it's too much out here. I'm not trying to have that type of relationship. You know, if I'm going to get involved with somebody, we can date and stuff, but it's going to have to be leading into something. And so she told him, we can just be friends. We can kick it every now and then, hang out, but ain't going to be no hanky-panky type situation. Which I was real proud of her for standing her ground. So she said he conveyed to her that the normal stuff that I do to get women is not working on you. She said, well, I don't know what type of caliber women you used to dating. But I'm not really going to settle for less than, what it is I'm looking for. And so he said to her, well, that's what I get for being honest. Because I could have just, been hanging around or doing whatever and not told you the truth. She said, well, it's a good thing you're honest. She said, because that's what leads to people having situations. When you're not honest with people on the front end, then you caught up into some mess. Which I was real proud of, and I'm glad it sunk in from things that I think that I relayed upon, taught her. Not to say I haven't made mistakes. I've made several mistakes. Like I said, I was in and out of a relationship for years. And we had some good times and bad times, so I can't say that I regret it. But looking back, I probably wouldn't do it again. But what if you can't live your life in the shoulda, woulda, coulda mode? So it's been situations where I've known people who've been married, together for years. And honey, the minute they get married, they don't last. I don't get that. Like I said, my dad grew up with this woman. They didn't last a hot minute. People date for years and years and they get married, and you would think, well, y'all been together all this time. I say sometimes you never really know a person until you marry them. And y'all, I don't know if we hear more now. You do have to be cautious. It's so much going on in the world, and I'm not going to say it hadn't been going on. It probably has been going on. But the difference now is with social media, you know about this stuff right away where you may not have heard about it before. And I think that is the biggest thing now. It just seems so dangerous out here to date and how you meet people. But like I say, you don't know. And then you're meeting people from all over, which I don't think you had that opportunity, before. People are being catfished. You had to really talk to people, and you met people the old-fashioned way before, so I guess they had mail order brides and stuff back then, but it's just not like it is now, where you meet people through social ways. Now, so, and like I said, you hear of them. So many heinous crimes going on with meeting people. And this could have, like I said, been going on all along, but you just have to be cautious about what you do. Be careful. But one thing I can tell you, I know I probably confused the heck out of you with my all over the place answer. I hope I ain't caused you more confusion. You got to know what you want. Let your heart and your mind lead you. You got to have common sense in this too. But you got to ultimately know what you want, and don't settle for less. If a person is not meeting your needs, I don't think that doesn't make a person bad because they're not ready for a commitment. It don't make them wrong because they're not ready for a commitment. It's okay to walk away from something. And just let the person know, you're not wrong for not wanting to commit right now, and I'm not wrong for wanting a commitment right now. And that don't mean you're going to run out and get a commitment. And people could say, well, you could just be with them until. No, leave a person alone that it's not even looking to commit to you. Let them go on about their way and free yourself up to be free for somebody else and for yourself. Even like I said, that's why I say know what you want and do the things you need to do to get to your goal. And like I said, you all have to have communication and relationship to get to a goal and understand on the front end. And even if you don't have that understanding on the front end, because of course, if you're a teenager, you ain't looking back, ultimately, I want a commitment. You ain't having that kind of conversation at that age. It all depends again on what age you are. But when you get to that thing and you have to have your come to Jesus moment in your meeting and say, look now, we've been dating for 3 years now. I'm 30 years old. You know, I don't know what it is you're looking for, but this is what I want. And if this person's saying that's not what they want and where this relationship going, and y'all can't come to some type of terms, then it's time for you to decide whether ultimately if you're willing to walk away. Are you willing to compromise or sacrifice your life and to do whatever they want? So, cause who's to say you wait another 5 or 6 years and the person still won't marry you? That was good, y'all. But like I said, I could eat some more because they don't get a whole lot. But anyway, that's enough for my jibber jabber. Y'all got some advice, because as y'all can see, I was here, there, and everywhere today. And yonder, drop it down in the box. Now, like I said, the person did not say how old they were, so I don't have a clue. You know what your thoughts are. Even if you don't do nothing but say, well, you were married or you were dating the person for how long. You know, just drop it down in the box. Give the person maybe an idea of what they look for if they're just looking for a time answer. Anyway, I want y'all to know y'all loved. I love you, but God loves you the most. Remember to always be kind to yourself and others. Be joyful and be blessed. And y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you for joining me and spending your time here always. You know I appreciate you. Love you much. Bye.